I even was in denial for at least the first 5 or 6 months about that I actually was diagnosed with cancer. I wouldn't even say the word cancer. And just the other day, one of my girlfriends said something about, oh yeah, remember that weekend I came down because I heard you had cancer. And it kind of took me back because I never really thought of myself as like that I had, even though it's gone, but like that I had cancer. I always just thought like, oh, I had like a little bout of melanoma, and it's a lot easier to think of it that way. It's a lot less scary, I think. I mean, I miss being tan, and I think that it's starting. I'm slowly getting used to that, but it's gonna take a little while. I remember going to the tanning booths and thinking every time, one more time, just this is my one more time, and then I won't do it anymore. And you can't do that because it's not the kind of thing that you're gonna see happen, and it's the kind of thing that once you find out, it could be too late, and that would be a horrible, horrible thing to happen because you just didn't want to listen and you were too stubborn to open up your mind that it could happen to anybody. It becomes almost like an addiction where once you start going, it's not even just the appearance of it anymore. Once you start going, you feel like you need, like after a day or two, you'll feel like you need to go again. And I'm glad that almost this stop came up in my life and I was stopped as soon as I was, because I don't know when I would have ever stopped. One of my roommates, best friend from home, went through an awful thing our freshman year in college. I was just getting to know my roommate, and her friend was always visiting, and then her friend's sister died of melanoma almost immediately. Like, she was diagnosed and then they caught it way too late, and she passed. I guess she was about my age at the time. She was like 23 or 24. And so my roommate and I immediately stopped going tanning out of respect, and it frightened us, obviously. And over time, within a year, we were both going again. And I don't know how that happened, but once we started going again, it was like he didn't care. I was telling my doctor yesterday that I'm kind of sick of it. Every time I have to go and give myself my treatment, I'm like, I can't believe I'm still doing this. But I am almost halfway done, and I have to keep reminding myself that. My name's Glenna Cole, and I have melanoma. Last time we met, I was on interferon getting better. Since then, my melanoma has come back. And I am now enrolled in a clinical trial at Mass General, hoping that will work, because the treatments I've tried so far haven't worked. So this will be the one that'll work.
Glenna died from melanoma when she was only 26. Here's how one group of students reacted to her story.
Well, that's so sad.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, that's pretty rough.
I think it's scary to see how, like, it can happen to, like, people, like, everyday people. Like, this was just a normal girl that was going tanning, and then all of a sudden she has it. Like, I don't know.
I don't know how you can hear
It's like
about
a reality
somebody
check.
dying from melanoma almost immediately and then just start going to tanning booths again.
I went tanning for like the first couple of weeks of the school year this year, because it's like tanning gives you that confidence, like to like look pretty and like stay skinny, whatever. And like you just feel more confident when you're tan. Like you don't think about it going into the booth. Like you sit there, you're like, oh, this is relaxing. Like you're getting the warmth when it's like freezing outside. You don't think about the effects that it has.
There are people who are way worse right here, in our school.
We have Oompa Loompas.
Go home, spend 3 hours outside, and then we'll go to a tanning booth. And
I had to stop going because it's like I got so burnt and just so fast. Like I went in for like 7 minutes. And even just those 7 minutes, it's like the UV rays, just like.
I don't know how people could possibly get the idea in their head that that's healthy.
I've heard the issue before about tanning causing cancer, but like seeing this video and seeing how similar she is to like how she used to think that it didn't have the effects necessarily. Like she didn't, even when her friend's sister died, like it didn't completely turn her off from it, but because she's so relatable in this video, it's important to watch to be able to show how it relates to us and like.
Pale.
See, I love being tan and then comparing to people.
It proves I
and
play
being
video
like,
games.
I'm so much
Yeah,
tanner
like
than
in
you.
the summer, it's all the time. It's like
that's
looking
the
at
constant
arms.
thing. I'm tanner than you are, and
I
like that's
remember-
the
oh
thing
my
when you go
God.
out.
And tan lines are just like one of those parts of summer, like flip-flop tan
Yeah.
lines,
Yeah.
like the beach, like it's just all like a package deal.
Yeah.
And it's great when you can just go lay out with your friends and you're just all tan and having a good time, and
Yeah.
it's nice.
Yeah, but I mean, once again, like, also to like relate it back to like being addictive, smoking's one of those things that you do because it makes you feel good, and you also do it with your friends, and
Right, but
that's
tanning's
how it
different.
starts.
Tanning's different. It's like,
It's a social thing.
yeah,
now.
it's definitely a
like you
social
sit
thing.
out and you like when you lie
Fry.
by the pool or something. It's not necessarily like you don't have to go swimming. You can just lie with your
You
friends
just-
and talk
yeah.
and tan, and it's like, what are you doing tanning?
But you
like,
could
not
like
just sitting
you
and
could
talking.
still sit and talk with your friends under an umbrella,
right, but
Or
it's
with
so much
sunblock.
better
or
to
like
just
with
lie in the
sunblock.
sun.
Like that's the bell.
Casey's dad is a doctor, and he warned her about the risks of melanoma and indoor tanning.
I found it very helpful when I went to the doctor and she told me the ABCs and what to look for on my skin, that I could possibly relay the message to my friends and to show them and to teach them what they need to look for themselves.
Knowing what to look for is how to either detect melanoma early or to help prevent it. So basically what you want to look for is, like I mentioned before, the ABCDEs. So when you have a mole, just a regular mole, A is for asymmetry. So if you cut the mole in half, it's going to look the same on both sides. That's what A stands for. B is for border. So you want to make sure your mole has a nice smooth border around it and not jagged. C is for color. Usually something that's normal, a normal looking mole is going to have the same color throughout. But if you have areas of light brown and dark brown, well, that's a red flag as well. D is for diameter. So we usually don't like to see our moles bigger than 6 millimeters, which is actually the edge of a pencil eraser. So if you notice anything like that, then that's something to look out for as well. And E is actually, in my opinion, the most important, which is evolution. So anything that you've noticed changing. The size could be changing, even if you've noticed a new mole or you think it's growing. These are all signs to look for, to have it and come and have it checked. Okay. Especially at the high school and college level, you know, they're not young, they're not babies anymore. And I think sort of delving deep and doing a comparison and contrast would really help them to understand what they actually want to look for.
Now, Casey warns others about the dangers of indoor tanning.
Here's something that I would just want to tell my friends who tan or who are thinking about tanning. You know, it's not worth it. It's not worth the possibility of getting melanoma. It's not worth the risk of getting, you know, wrinkles or, you know, sunspots on your skin, aging marks on your skin, all of those things. It's just not worth putting yourself at risk for something that's extremely preventable. If you don't do it, your risks of getting melanoma are dramatically dropped. And there's so many different ways that you could get tan nowadays. You could have, you know, tanning cloths that they have. You could have spray tans, many different things that don't put you at risk for having melanoma or skin cancer or wrinkles or any of the other things. So, you know, in my opinion, it's not worth to do it. And you should just never start, because if you never start, you don't know what it's like and you're not missing out on anything.
Glenna hoped that by sharing her story, she could prevent others from experiencing the devastation of melanoma. Here's what you can do. Be a part of it. Educate your friends. Tell them not to tan. Check your skin. Melanoma is curable when caught early, and advocate for a tanning ban. For more information and resources, go to the Children's Melanoma Prevention Foundation at www.melanomaprevention.org.